The A Show.
Where smart is the new sexy.
And now, April Hunter.
Hey, everybody. Welcome, all you beautiful people. We have Ray introducing our guest tonight because he's got the voice and I do not. So, Ray.
Stop it. You have a voice, too. Would you stop?
Without further ado.
All right. Here we go. Let's do this the right way. Let me just lower this down.
Oh, we're going to have special. I know. This is great.
In a world where the A Show has a brand new guest this week, Wade Hunt Williams is an actor and a musician from Los Angeles. He's been involved in many aspects of the entertainment business. He spent most of his young years on stage in Tennessee. Musical theater launched his love of music and acting. Wade has watched and learned from some of the greatest directors, actors, and producers Hollywood has to offer. The independent films that Wade has the lead in have grossed millions worldwide. At this time, he has recently landed a lead in an HBO original film coming today. Not this fall. It's going to be today. Ladies and gentlemen, the A Show gives you Wade Williams. That wasn't.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hi.
Welcome. Thanks for making time to come up on here.
I'm blessed, man. Thank you guys for having me. I just realized I need to update that bio. That bio is
It's old.
It's at this point, like even a couple of weeks, it's old. So yeah. So the HBO the HBO series is called
Burden of Proof.
Thank you.
Burden of Proof. I'm sorry, Burden of Proof. Yeah.
Burden of Proof is the HBO series, and I just had a movie
Which is
come
Max, by the way. It's Max.
Oh yeah, it's now Max.
Yeah.
Just to confuse us.
Right. And Peacock, we're looking at you to change your name now.
What is Peacock? I don't even know what Peacock is. So
well, HBO Max dropped the HBO.
You're right.
So Peacock can go ahead and drop the.
Yes, the cock.
Oh,
come on, brother.
Already into the jokes. I get it. Yeah. And then yesterday,
as he freezes,
my newest film, A Time for Every Purpose, just came out on a bunch of stuff. Apple TV, Amazon Prime, and a bunch of others. I think I sent April a list of all the things that are on. But yeah, so yeah, things are good, man. Things are good.
Awesome. So A Time for Every Purpose. That is
Yes,
out
ma'am.
as of yesterday.
Yes.
And I think I'll find that list that you sent, but anybody can do a little search for that and find it if they want to see it. And that's actually, I know you do regular movies, and you're also plugged in to do the faith-based films as well. So that keeps you busy on.
Wait a second.
Sides, right?
Hold on. You do the movies my mother watches like all the time. My mother's a Christian, a 70-something-year-old Christian woman.
That's a market. There's a big market for that.
Yeah, dude. She probably knows you.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I've got what is it? PureFlix. Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff on PureFlix. Very proud of my faith. I'm proud.
And his
Of,
faith has frozen.
I'm proud
Hey,
of what,
Wade.
the movies
Excuse
are
me for a
trying to
second.
do
You're
with-
freezing a lot.
with faith-based movies. Yes.
You
Am
are
I?
freezing a lot. So if there's any way to slow down the internet traffic, you might want to try to do
All
that.
right, let me go. You guys talk amongst yourselves. Let me go tell some kids to turn off.
Very cool.
Turn off the gaming.
Very cool.
Yeah,
I've been
Wade
there,
has a family there, and they all like to game and download and upload and all that stuff. So it's probably a challenge at the moment. But in the meantime,
yeah, always say hi.
Kaz, hi Allie, hi Eva. What's up, Alex? Gamwolfers. Hey, Laquifa and Big Wig. Thanks for being here, Big Wig. I saw you up here earlier. Cool, awesome dude. What's up, Allie? My online husband there. Speedway. Jerome, hi. So, am I missing anybody? No.
Wow.
I see more people come in. Notary, hello.
I don't like shouting out individual people, but I haven't seen Jerome in a long time. What's going on, brother?
I know. Kaz, you're awesome. Thank you so much for everything. Just welcoming everybody in. Thanks for being here.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm freezing.
Don't worry about it. It happens. It happens.
I just went and drowned all my children. I'm kidding.
That's fine. That's fine. I've done it.
So very Florida of you.
It's a daily thing. It's a daily. Hannah Ray, please turn off the TV. Thank you.
So don't you talk back to him. He can't hear me, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, fine. So like I was telling you before, my mother, we were talking about how you know you do the faith-based movies, and you were talking about your faith. What is your faith?
Oh, I'm a Christian, and I'm a proud Christian.
So am I.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch.
And it's so
I'll be.
I just learned. I just learned to do all
He
this
just
stuff.
learned that
So
last week.
we're gonna have a whole bunch of fun. Go ahead.
I'm going to be the token pagan over here, I guess.
Well, I don't think you're a pagan. I think that you just, I think everyone, here's the way I describe it, is everyone's a Christian. They just don't know it yet.
Amen.
Because I mean, the fact of the matter is, you know, God is absolutely real. And I think and this is, you've asked the question, so let me know, because I'm going to get on a rant. If I freeze, just hold up your hands, because I'm about to get up on my pulpit.
Okay, hold it like this.
What happens is, Mel Gibson said something, I think it was yesterday, or he streamed something that was very poignant. I've been saying it for a long time. One of the things that will separate people from the possibility of Christ meaning the truth, is the church. Is churchy people will turn off Christians like that.
Churchy people are annoying as fuck. Sorry, I'm just saying.
No, it's okay. But what I've discovered, and this kind of goes into my story of like having been dead for a few minutes, which we'll get into, is like there's a metaphysical. Yeah, I died, and I died, and I left my body. We're gonna
explain the near-death experience that he had. Where he died for 5 minutes and then was in a coma for 6 weeks. So there's a lot that came from that, as well as the fantastic lifelong career he's had that started out in a really interesting metal hair band.
Hey, wait, real quick, just so you know, I don't know if April Stooge is off to you, but you know, my dad was a pastor.
Oh yeah.
My dad was a pastor. He was in ministry. He helped in he started what was called the Broken Chains Ministry, where he ministered to ex-convicts, drug addicts. So I grew up like tagging along with him, doing a whole bunch of that stuff. So I grew up in the faith. I grew up in the church. My mother still goes to church every single Sunday. I come to visit her, and my son's there already. And I'm like, where's grandma? He's praying. She's praying. You know, so he has the TV off out of respect. Look at that. That's so sick.
Wade grew up in the church too. His band was called Leather Nunn.
No way.
Yes.
16 years old. He had a record out.
That is dope, dude.
I was in a band called Leather Nunn. It was, we had our own club in Jacksonville, Florida. We called it the Convent. I mean, we were real.
I respect that.
We're really blasphemous, you know, and I think my existence, if we're talking about my faith, I think I'm frozen at this point.
No, you good.
My existence, the fact that I can be a complete, not just pagan, but like demonic, evil son of a bitch, and come to understanding of God's grace and his presence through Jesus, is pretty outstanding. I mean, if I can do it, trust me, anybody can do it. April, there's still hope for you. I'm telling you, it really is.
Okay.
But I think what happens is people look at Jesus as something weird, and it really is. It's like saying, well, the streams don't run in the ocean happens by itself, but the streams are unnecessary. Like, well, no, wait, hold on. The streams run into the ocean, right? So my thing is, like, I think what's happened is that the world, and then we can, and I've been watching you guys, and I know where April's head is at, and where your head is at. The truth of the matter is, we've been divided on purpose, you know, and so I think all of these things where Jesus sounds like a crazy thing. Everything else makes total sense. Aliens, 81 million votes, no problem. But Jesus is crazy. Now that doesn't make sense. So my whole thing is, I also believe that differently than most quote unquote Christians, I believe in a very metaphysical understanding of what Christianity is. And I'll stop there, because if you let me go, I'll be on here for 4 hours telling you all about
it. I have no problem with it. I've been preaching to April since I started the show. So listen, and April knows I'm not perfect, and I never pretend to be perfect. I always said that there was only one perfect person that walked this earth. But with that being said, man, it's cool to see a person, April, and I'm gonna toss it to you, that's not afraid to say, you know what, because Jesus is unconventional. Like, you hear the name Jesus and people get nervous now for some reason.
Well,
Just
okay, yeah. Well, like I said, Alex says, unfortunately, some Christian ministries are downright corrupt. Just he
Absolutely.
said, and I agree. But I think, I think what Wade is also trying to say too, if I'm not mistaken, is that spirituality doesn't necessarily have to be in church or with religion. Am I correct on that?
I would absolutely agree with that. As a matter of fact, I'm a churchy person. I work at a church. I've worked for churches. I've been a music director for years. I appreciate what I do. I appreciate the music that I make for our congregation. Mm-hmm. And I had to sit down with my pastor the other day, and I'm just letting him know I think the American church is missing it. I think the American church has come down to like Sunday, let's get together, let's gossip about each other's what they wore,
exactly,
blah 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 blah, and then let's go have lunch and be rude to the waiter and go watch football. Well, I've done my thing, I've tithed, all that stuff.
Right?
Yeah,
that's not what it is. That's not what it is. It is. And matter of fact, I've said this before. The word Christ means truth. So when we're talking about Jesus, that's his name, which means which means what it means, and then Christ is.
Darn it.
Means the truth. So it's Jesus of Nazareth, but we call him Jesus Christ because he's the truth. And the truth of God isn't downloaded in us when we're born. As a matter of fact, the one true gift he's ever given us is choice. He's given us a choice to go, I'll do whatever I want to do. The bear doesn't have a choice. The fish don't have choices. They do what they've been instilled in.
And that has worked out great for humanity.
Well, that's my point, is that there is a I have children. I have 4 of them. Sometimes it feels like 45, but I let them, I don't, as much as I want to direct them and correct them and push them and like, I want you to do the right thing. At the same time, I don't stamp them with like, you have to be this,
right?
You know,
you can't push too hard.
God doesn't do that either. Mm-hmm. What God does, and this is where it gets really metaphysical. I've learned some stuff that even I sit down and talk to Christians and they go, nah, you sound crazy. But when you start talking about the different layers of reality, and the sub layers and the different vibrations and how that's created, and it all lines up biblically. I've talked to some metaphysical people that I admire very, very much, and all the metaphysical talk that I'm learning from these wonderful people line up with Scripture. They just don't know it. And when you try,
I hate the fact that he's free
to bring a Christian who's just worried about their barbecue and their football game and their tithing. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to get it. They're not going to get it when you start talking about vibrations and levels of consciousness and reality, and the fact that the angels are in a different reality, the creator's on a different reality. You know, there's a substrate of darker energy, and like, they're not going to get that.
Well, most Christians aren't even aware that there was like about 17 books of the Bible removed by the Catholic Church.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
And those were the books that were featured a lot of women, a lot of angels, a lot of mystical aspects
and a lot of personal power. A lot of the personal power that God has given us. Like, here's the thing that makes me so angry is that most Christians think that I've said my prayer and I'm just going to sit back and let it all happen. No, there's a relationship. If God, the fact that it's true when I say perception changes reality, does the fact that happens whether you're a Christian or not. The rain falls on the just and the unjust. The rain falls on the Christian and the unchristian. My point is, we're all under the same authority. We're under the same creator, right? And so how do we get to him? Because there's so many other levels before we get to the Valhalla of the whole thing. And he can't get to us. So, thank you. So how does he get to us? Well, he sent himself through flesh. Right. Mm-hmm. So there's a connection that is missing. So here's the thing, is that when you start talking about the things that the church removed from the Bible were the things that God gave us as power. And it says very clearly when Christ says when Christ walked on water, healed the blind, raised people from the dead, he literally said, you will do these things and more. Now, is Jesus a liar? No, he's not. So if he says we're going to be able to do some crazy mystical things, we need to start believing him. And we need to start tapping into that power that he's given us, right? And that's the creator. So, all right, that's my soapbox. If you want to know more, Tune in to
As he freezes, I'm gonna jump in and say this.
I don't know, something else.
As-
And
as-
Ray's adding
my
things when you
basic
freeze up
understanding.
because you're freezing up.
Whenever you
Ray's
freeze
awesome.
up, I kind of throw stuff out like he's handsome. I like this guy. I prayed for him to jump into April's life. Like I've said so many wonderful things, and I swear I have. So just much like most relationships or any relationship that you have, any friendship, any relationship, any job acquaintance you have, there's work to be put in. That's why I agree with what you said regarding the fact that, you know, when you know you have in a relationship with God or whatever, you have a relationship with Christ, people think, oh, I'll just pray and it's just gonna happen. No, it takes work.
Right.
It takes work.
Exactly.
A good parent, also like this, April, and I'll let you jump in. I'm sorry, but a good parent knows, and I've been a parent for 15 years. Sometimes you can teach a kid something, but they have to learn. They have to fail. They have, you know, that's how you gain wisdom. And you're there to help pick them up and to explain to them, you know, what they could have done to do better, you know, next time. And it's up to them whether they want to make that choice. You know, just because they're your kids doesn't mean they don't have free will. And this is the relationship people don't understand when it comes to Christianity. Like I respect you, bro, because I like the way you explain it. You actually remind me a lot of my dad, because he was one of those, he wasn't one of those I am better than you pastors. He was just down to earth. He ran the streets when he was younger. He was in the gang. He was a pro boxer, a pro wrestler. My father, you know, he was respected both physically and also, you know, in the heart, because he'd been there. He did a little time in jail when he was a teenager for gun possession, which wasn't his gun, but he didn't take the pinch. So like I said, the way you're speaking right now is why a lot of people love my dad. And I love you, bro.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, bro.
I mean that. I mean that, man.
Thank you.
Let me welcome everybody showing up late. Hi, Steve. Hey, Chris Cameo. I'm glad to see you here on your first live show. Hello.
Don't say hi to Colin.
No, hi, Colin. We love you. And Albert and everybody else who's joining us late. If I missed you, I'm sorry. So we are interviewing or happy to have guest Wade Hunt Williams on, who is an actor and a musician, and he does regular films, regular music, faith-based films, faith-based music. And he was telling us about how he has come literally to Jesus, and and how his beliefs are different than the typical Christian, I guess, in believing also the mystical and metaphysical aspects, and that the church doesn't go far enough, and it limits the power. It stops at a certain point and doesn't teach people the actual power they have,
absolutely,
that they have, and that it teaches that the Bible is black and white instead of written in parables, and that with these words, with this, what's the word I'm looking for, the mystical aspect is missing, and with that comes a lot of manifestation and power, and that is where the church kind of cuts that part off, and that's what's missing from the relationship with spirituality, that a lot of people either don't understand, don't see. And that was what we were filling everybody in, if you were joining us late.
Can I give a quick little analogy? Like,
go for it. And then we're going to ask some questions here. I
always thought that being a Christian, and this is more recent because, you know, just hear me out, cell phones are way more advanced now, but it's like, you know, you have it built in. You have all of these special gifts built in. What am I saying? Let's say you have an iPhone 15 or whatever, right? That computer chip right now is not going to be able to do all the stuff it will be able to do after certain updates over the course of many, many months or even many years. That's why, or an Android phone or whatever. So that's what it's like. You know, you have you have all these special qualities, all these legit powers, abilities.
Yeah.
And you just have to be patient and unlock them and learn them over the course of time. And it's just, and I like to use the cell phone analogy, man. It's like that little M whatever chip, or that A bionic chip or whatever it is, has all of that inside of it. And you just have to be patient. And every few months you'll learn more and more will be unlocked. And that's, you know, that's kind of what it is, man. I think we limit ourselves to a flip phone.
We do. We limit ourselves.
A flip phone. That's a good analogy. I like that.
Yeah.
And just my last thing is someone said in the chat, the Bible is a story. Yeah, there's some great stories, some great analogies. So here's the thing I say about that is that I'm a studier of the Word. I literally study the Word as I listen to it every day. I go through the Bible every day, and the more and more it reveals to me things that aren't on the surface. So here's I'll just start with this. Like what April says is like it's written in parable. Some of it's parable, some of it's historical. You just kind of got to figure out which is which. Now here's what I just solved everything. And hopefully you don't hear my kids. They're going crazy in there.
Yeah.
I believe in a God that absolutely could create everything in a
Look, he just snapped.
Or stop it.
I believe in a God that can create everything in 6 days. What happened? Did I freeze again?
You froze.
You froze right at that.
When you snapped, so it was kind of cool. Like he froze time. It was awesome.
But also I'm prepared. I'm prepared for everything to be exactly the way it's written in English, that it's been translated 4 or 5 different times. I'm prepared for that because I believe in a God that can do anything. Now, having said that, the more I study the Word, I understand the poetry behind it.
Right.
I understand. I mean, if a day for God is 3 million years, and we just 24 hours.
I'm telling people it necessarily doesn't have to be 6 days.
It doesn't
in
have
our
to
time.
be 6 days. It has to. It's something. It's a guide. It's a guide, and it's something that gets you where you need to be, and then understanding that there is something more than just us. And hold on a second. I'm going to tell my kids.
Yo, I'm going to request this dude on Facebook. I gotta message him privately as he freezes.
Guys, be quiet, please. Close the door.
You know what you can do.
So yeah,
I've got.
It's not that
that's
loud.
one of the questions I was going to say. How do you manage to balance a career and raising kids, and what about all the people? No, I'm going to do this in the near future. But what about all the people that think that they can't have kids and family in entertainment? They have to do one or the other. They have to give up. But anyway, go ahead. We're going to actually talk about some actor musician stuff soon.
But I was going to tell Wade he can go into his settings, right? And if you click the little settings gimmick, and then you hit audio, there's this little thing, right? And it says reduce background noise, and we won't hear the kids in the background.
Yeah.
So you hit the little settings icon.
That virtual background. I say audio.
And welcome Winona.
Audio.
Oh, got it. All right, there it is. Got it.
The kids have disappeared.
They have exited the room. The kids have exited the room. Okay.
I'm gonna try to get closer to my.
Try and get unfrozen. Your internet sucks.
Yeah. Stop stealing it from your neighbors. Thou shalt not steal, brother. All right, he's frozen.
Just talk mad shit about him.
No. It's
Robert,
crazy.
But that didn't do it.
There you go.
Hi, guys. Well,
Hi.
Welcome to my living room. Welcome. This is
that.
So sorry. That doesn't help. It doesn't help at all.
You're very obviously pro freedom.
So your question, and Wade is going to jump in a second. What were you asking? That how do you balance having a family, being an actor?
Wait, hold on. This is my favorite part. You guys got to see my favorite part. Okay.
What are you looking at?
Sorry.
The wall.
I was trying to show you my spiral staircase, but
I know. We saw it. It was cool.
We saw it. It just kind of froze in the background, and all of a sudden, it's like a teleportation gimmick.
I was trying to be
freezing
cool.
up.
It's not happening. I don't know why it's happening, guys. I'm sorry. This is not happening.
Allie, our tech nerd, says this guy needs to hook up his laptop or desktop to his router with wired Ethernet /LAN. Much better and more stable than Wi-Fi.
Hashtag facts.
Hashtag.
Hashtag no lies detected.
Hashtag over my head.
Yeah.
All that.
So
all right. Next question.
Let's actually get to some of the more interesting stuff, and then we're going to get back to where you guys were.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw your freedom, your anonymous posters out there.
Mm-hmm.
So you are, from what I understand, you're both a cowboy and an Indian. Do we say that anymore? Indian? Sorry, Native American.
Native American.
Right. And he's frozen.
I was thinking maybe he should do it from his phone.
Yeah. Are you back with us?
And he's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm serious, that he should do it from his cell phone.
Maybe.
It'll probably be better. He'll have higher quality, even though he doesn't sound as good.
Yeah.
So anyway, while he's gone, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, because it'll probably be better than the laptop itself. And now he's lost his audio. So
You have no audio. How about you use your phone?
Your phone.
Well, how about if I
be
just?
better.
I don't know where it went. I think my daughter's got my phone.
I think you're stronger than her. Probably you can take it away.
All right, you guys talk amongst yourselves.
All right, cool.
All right.
So let's talk about something else real quick while he's gone.
I have stuff.
So what do you got?
All right.
I'm gonna mute his mic.
Okay. I have a good news story, and I thought this was fascinating. It
Go
came
for it.
in here. And AB Twitch says, was this guy in any Power Rangers?
He was in the Power Rangers
actually.
show.
Yeah, he was in Power Rangers. So you have to ask him about that. So Baltimore couple saves a guy mid-flight. So these two people, Emily Rains and Daniel Shiflett, were on a flight home from Fort Lauderdale to Baltimore, and they saved a passenger's life. They were 3/4 of the way through the flight when the passenger just slumped and stopped breathing. So what had happened was they ended up in the middle of the aisle. There was almost no room.
Mhm.
They called for any medical personnel on the plane, and there wasn't any. So they were both nurses on vacation.
Mhm.
They both went up. They got him on the aisle. There was some breathing apparatus equipment on the flight, and they were able to give him compressions and breathing. And then they also used the breathing apparatus for 15 minutes. His heart was stopped.
No way.
Yeah, he was gone. And then all of a
15
sudden,
minutes. Wouldn't his brain be dead? And I was going to tell you.
I don't know. But
listen, text Wade while we're talking.
I did.
Oh, here we go. So I'm going to drop him out of this call. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm going to kick him from the studio here. Kick this guest.
So he was gone for 15 minutes, and all of a sudden his eyes opened up and he survived. And it was not a heart attack. They don't know. They don't know what happened, but here's the thing. And his wife has written to them several times and said he's survived. He's fine. So they saved his life. And the kicker was they tried to change their flight twice that day to get something earlier. And it was so expensive that they couldn't do it. So they ended up just getting on that flight. So if they hadn't been there, he would have definitely died. So yeah, you don't hear any good news stories very often, but yep.
But what I was going to tell you was that 15 minutes, wouldn't he be brain dead?
I know, because they're still breathing for him.
They were breathing for him.
They were breathing it for him and doing
I missed that part.
Chest compressions. So because they were doing that, they were keeping him functioning.
That's freaking crazy.
I know. So therefore, he survived.
All right,
so you would hope that something like that happens if it's you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm always worried that I'm gonna be on like because I didn't tell you what happened to my boss's wife this past week. She was all right. Let's see. Wade, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Is that better?
Yeah, the sound isn't great, but the internet's better.
Okay, great, awesome.
All right, this works actually. Yeah. So I was just unless he wants to hook it up to his Bluetooth speaker, his Bluetooth headphone gimmick there. But this past week, man, my boss, he got a call from his wife. She was at the train, and this dude was just standing there, like out of the blue. And she's, it was her birthday, so she had flowers and everything, and she was like just texting her cell phone, and it's like this guy's like, yo, why are you recording me? Why are you recording me? He grabs the flowers, hits her with the flowers, throws the flowers on the floor. And she says every single man that was on the platform spread like roaches. Nobody helped her. Nobody said anything. Nobody did anything. She was knocked down to the floor.
Wow. Are you serious?
Yeah. And it's just like, God, like, chivalry, man. Men become weak and scared to.
Wow.
Now
that wouldn't happen in Florida.
Now let me ask
I don't think.
I'm going to ask you guys in the chat a question. Do you think it has anything to do with what happened here in New York a few months ago, where we had that kid that he interfered with that guy that was threatening people on the train, and he choked him and killed him. Do you remember that
Oh,
story?
oh, yes, I do remember that. And he's the one that got in trouble.
Yeah, and I feel that people are really
Could
afraid.
be, yeah.
People are really afraid to interfere. You see, because like a person like myself, I had this happen. I don't know if I told you this. This happened at my job. This was like last year. I think it might have been before we started doing the show, April, where there was a commotion going out inside in front of my building. Long story short, I look out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and Wade is taking
Wait, what are you doing?
Wait, are you going to Costco? What are you doing?
I'm going in my car. That's the only way I can actually hear you guys. So
Okay.
This will go back into your question: is how do you do this and have kids at the same time? Well,
okay, gotcha.
Right. So I'm just gonna finish up. So that's basically like what's been happening with that situation, man. Like, you know, I think people are afraid to interject. And there was a situation in front of my building where this dude was like choking out his pregnant girlfriend. And I had to physically get involved, and my boss was there, and he got involved. And it's like people are just, and all the other men that were on the street were recording it on their phones.
Really?
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. All right, wait, let's see. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Check 1 2. Hey.
All right.
How about now? Is that better?
I can hear you. Yeah, it's not the greatest, but it'll work. Yes.
It's not the greatest audio, but you sound. It sounds kind of cool. Like we're doing like a call from like calling in from Los Angeles. We have Wade Hunt Williams. Wade,
hey guys, long time listener, first time caller.
That's what it sounds like.
So we have a question here for you, Wade. Alex wants to know, what character did you play in Power Rangers? Was it Time Force?
Yeah.
That's what it was?
Yes. Power Rangers Time Force was my first big TV show, I guess. And I think that was it. It was a one episode, and people are like, "Oh, it's funny. I met this girl. She's like 20 years old. I filmed that like 25, 30 years ago. I met this girl at one of my shows about a month ago, and she's like, "You're Officer Crueler," and I went, "You're insane." And she literally was like, I love all of Power Rangers. I remember you from Power Rangers. I was like, that's incredible. That's crazy, because it was a terrible episode. It was cheesy and it was silly, but yeah, that was it. Officer Crueler. And I think my residual checks for that total all of about 33 cents.
That is awesome. That is all.
Go Union.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? Like a lot of these one-off characters, especially like Star Trek, Star Wars, people that are really into those shows, they freaking know. Like this is the guy that got killed in episode this and that, and he was standing here. They freaking know. So don't be surprised.
Notary 7 says that was Elena, my daughter. So,
what's that?
Notary 7 says that was Elena, my daughter.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. Listen, if you're tuning in, I apologize. This is also something that goes into spirituality. Like when you start talking about God over the internet, for some reason, some shit happens, and that enemy shows up and he starts effing with things. I'm flat out telling you, I've never had this.
That's why you don't come out of the gate and start talking about it. You let us get the interview done first.
Well,
then
you asked.
Ray asked.
I did. It was my fault.
I did not ask. I never bring that stuff up in the beginning.
Ray asked. So there it is. Well, what else you got?
Wow. Albert says, all due respect to April and her type, most women don't deserve my protection. A woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. Remember 8-Ball Jacket, who defended him.
The hell is he talking about?
I'm a little bit lost.
What?
I'm a little bit lost. 8-Ball Jacket, who defended him?
What is he talking about? Is he talking about the dude from the train that got it? There was in New York. There was a situation where some dude was wearing an 8-Ball jacket, and these young girls were being jerks to him, and one girl smacked him, and he just freaking let him have it.
Okay. Anyway,
you can't judge an entire sex or an entire race because gender because one person was being stupid. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
Not gonna buy that one.
So have you always? So we saw the pictures of you when you were 16 years old and the hair. Have you always wanted to be in entertainment, or what did you do? Did you grow up and wanted to be a rock star, or How did that? Was that always the goal?
It necessarily wasn't a goal. It was just something that just came naturally. I was the class clown, and my mom was like, "We got to find something to do with this energy." Much like I have a class clown myself, I have an 11-year-old who's just bouncing off the walls, and he actually went to North Florida with me yesterday and filmed some scenes. His first movie, and he was really good in it. So, but to answer your question, I started doing it at 11, and at 11 years old, I was doing musical theater. So it's acting and music at the same time. So I really fell in love with music and acting at the exact same time. And ever since then, yeah, that's pretty much been it. I love it. I love creating things that bring people joy, inspiration, entertainment, because it's really needed. And sometimes I lose track of that. And I have this wonderful person in my life who reminds me that what I'm doing is important. Because sometimes I just go, why am I doing this? I'm not curing cancer. I'm not solving the world crisis. And this person reminds me that what I'm doing is I'm bringing entertainment to people who literally need it, who literally have been bombarded with shitty news all day long. They need to sit back and watch a movie that inspires them or listen to a song that makes them laugh. And so, yeah, that to answer your question, it's always been that.
That makes sense.
Always. Did I put Ray to sleep? Is that what he's doing?
No. My wife is texting me, so I'm just. I apologize. I really have to get back to this. I apologize, guys.
So it's all in your apartment. You had the anonymous and the posters up there or framed prints.
Yeah.
So most people that have those are very freedom-oriented, free speech, no censorship types. So
I'm chilled and red-pilled, April.
So
I did look like I was sleeping. I looked in the camera. I'm like,
so you're both. I understand. You're both cowboy and Indian, right? You're native?
I'm sort. Yeah, I'm Cherokee. I'm basically there's a lot of Cherokee.
Native American.
And I'm Native. Well, yeah, I can say it. That's my word.
Oh,
all right?
word.
That's
word
my
up.
word. You can't say that. I can say that. No, it's Native American, yeah, Cherokee, some Irish, some Welsh, and being from the South, and an educated redneck. I call myself an edneck.
So you're Puerto Rican, basically.
There you go.
Like me.
So you do generally. It's in your DNA to trust the government.
No, not at all. Not at all. As a matter of fact, my lovely romantic partner got me a shirt the other day, and it had this Indian on it, and he was dead, and it said "Trust the government" on the bottom of the shirt. And I said that's pretty much it. And without going into deep wormholes, because you guys cover it very, very well, yeah, we've been lied to forever, and to get. And I think what's probably going to happen next is you're probably going to ask me as an actor, as an entertainer, why am I not afraid to speak out? And the fact of the matter is, I will not hide behind a lie. We know that every lie will be exposed. Everything will be revealed. I won't hide behind a lie.
Most actors are terrified. They're very.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're very much on the left.
I got to say something. I've been noticing that there's kind of like a turnaround in Hollywood.
Yeah. They've been slowly.
Like especially with the young lady that was supposed to be doing the Snow White movie, and they basically, she just didn't shut up about how men are not important, basically, and how she was saying how in Snow White, what was it? The prince was a stalker, and she was like using all these terrible terminologies to break down that movie that in all respects was just a love story. A fun love story, and people want to turn it into something misogynistic. Yeah. So I noticed now they basically like they're blackballing her now. I see a turn in Hollywood. But I had a question for you, bro.
Sure.
Since you are a man of faith, did you ever find yourself in a position where you were offered a role, and it just were you ever uncomfortable? Like, could you do a role? Let's say the role says he's a pedophile, or I'm just saying. No, I'm serious. Or a rapist.
No, I know the answer to this question.
Or check this out. Or a demonic character. Is that something that you would fear to do, or you wouldn't do, or you would feel uncomfortable doing? How do you say no, or would you do it? And
I
how
do
you?
it. I do it, and I have done it. And here's the thing: let's go as two men of faith. Let's talk about the story above all stories, and let's talk about the story of Jesus. Do you really think we could do the story of Jesus without Pontius Pilate or Judas?
Right.
You know, I mean, like, and I just came back from Utah a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now. I filmed a horror movie, and it's a flat out horror movie. But the premise of the film is this elitist group of people trying to usher in a new era of darkness through a portal. I don't want to get into too much detail. I play a pretty horrible person. I told the director when I got the script, I said, listen, I mean, before I got the script, when he offered it to me, I said, either I play bad guys all the time, but they've got to have punishment.
You've got a bad guy vibe about you.
You do have a bad guy vibe.
Exactly. You look like you could play a serial killer, murderer, pedophile. I don't know.
Like the jailhouse guy that stabs you.
Yeah, the biker.
Yeah, you got that look.
Not the good biker, the bad biker.
But a very handsome killer. A very handsome killer. Is that fair?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
But I'm secure. I will take those roles because it's real. I mean, there really are evil people in this world doing terrible things. And that story needs to be told. And so, but if I won't do anything that glorifies it, right? There's a movie I turned down where it was glorifying it. It was just glorifying, evil and demonic. And now it was in a parody sort of way. This guy didn't know what he was doing. He didn't realize he was really messing with stuff that is real. So I did play a pedophile. I played a pedophile in a series on PureFlix called The Advocate. And it was the hardest role I have ever done. And it was excruciating. I felt
you're a father too, right?
I'm a father, absolutely. But here's the thing: is it has to be done. These stories have to be told, and you've got to be able to find an actor who's going to be able to be bold with it and not be afraid of it.
You can say be a bitch.
Bigwigish. I said Hogan's Heroes. Jewish actors played the Nazis because they probably felt that story needed to be told.
Hogan's Heroes. Wow, bringing it back, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I see nothing. I hear nothing.
Schultz.
So yeah, that's the answer to that question. I will, if it's a bad guy and a story that needs to be told, absolutely, and I will. I won't turn that down, because this is what I do for a living. You know what I mean? Like, I make music and I make movies for a living, so that's the way I pay my bills, and so I can't be too self-righteous. Now, there was a time when I was all real churchy that I would steer away from things like that. I just wanted to do faith-based films. Well, doing enough faith-based films, you're literally preaching to the choir, and you're not really reaching people. And then when I started to understand that the church people are out there doing ridiculous things anyway, I'm not going to hide myself. I'm going to be the one person that's, like I said, I watched Mel Gibson's stream the other day. He's very honest about his sinful fleshly nature. But at the same time, I look at it differently. I look at things differently than what most Christians do, because they don't dive into the word. They just read the word superficially, and they're not really getting what I believe. And again, I'm not your pastor, but what I believe is underneath it. And I don't believe it's a matter of yes, we're set apart. The Bible says we're set apart, but we're not set apart so much that we're not there to interact with everyone else. Christ went to some pretty terrible places. If Jesus was alive today, he'd be going to biker bars. You know what I mean? Yep. So I don't buy into the churchiness of the whole thing. And I'll be hanging out at the club. Actually, I'm too old to be hanging out at the club.
No, I'm saying Jesus.
8 o'clock. Oh, yeah.
Well, okay. Speaking of that, you've had some longevity in your career. You've played a lot of characters. You've sang and played across a lot of stages. The stories we tell ourselves tend to what's the word? Tend to be the worst enemies that we have. I remember because I've been in entertainment almost as long as you. I started at 19. You started at what, 16?
16,
I remember being 28 and freaking out because I was thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna be so old. I'm gonna be 30. I need to get out because before I get pushed out. 30. So and every, and then oh my God, I'm gonna be so old. I'm gonna be 40. So it's like these things, especially in entertainment, where they judge you upon what you look like, and there's always somebody coming up younger. It gives you the feeling of never good enough, instead of extolling the virtue of somebody who has a lot of experience and wisdom and the ability to add to everything around them. Does that make sense?
It does. And it's interesting because those are the stories we tell ourselves, and those are the stories that have been embedded in us. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. You have a question?
No, that's it. That's the stories that have been embedded in us, and they tend to mess with our heads a lot. And a lot of people end up shortening their careers because of it. And obviously, that hasn't. Yes, I'm over 30. I'm over 42.
What? You lied to me the other day.
I know. I'm celebrating my celebrate my anniversary of being 38. Anyway, these things that are implanted in our brains tend to shorten our careers sometimes, and that has not happened to you. You have managed to roll with it and keep going. How have you had such great longevity in your career, and what advice do you have for people who are also in the business and coming up or younger? What would you offer to them? That's a two-part right there.
I'll answer your first question. Is that I kind of did leave for a while. I think I didn't make a movie for like 10 years. When I was in LA, I made some films, and then I went into music production entirely, but I guess I was still in the business, so to speak. But my advice is, don't fucking listen to anyone other than what your heart tells you. If your passion is to frickin' make paper airplanes, find a way to monetize making paper airplanes. Okay. Find a way to bring joy to people through making paper airplanes. If it was instilled in you to be the best plumber or the best carpenter, do that. Do it. And don't listen to anybody tell you can't do it. And so it really comes down to, do not believe the matrix. Do not believe the box that they've all tried to put us in, because quite frankly, what they want to do is they want to keep getting younger people in there because they're stupid, and stupid people sign stupid contracts. And so they don't want people of wisdom, they being Hollywood. But again, I agree with Ray. It's all shifting. If I was to talk to my younger self, I would tell them two things. I would say, start investing financially into other things. Take that $20 that you're going to spend on whatever and invest it into a mutual fund. Invest it into something that's going to have a return. Don't even think about it. 25 years later, you're going to be a millionaire. Like, it's that simple. Believe it or not, I worked for financial services for a while. I got a bunch of licenses in life insurance and annuities and stuff. I learned so much. That's my younger thing. Now, what I want to tell people coming up in the business, this is very important. This is probably the most important thing I would tell anybody in the business or wanting to come up in the business, is you need to learn about business. When I learned about business, my art shifted into a new level. So when I started looking at myself as an actor and as an entertainer, as if I was a plumber, my job is to go and be the best plumber ever, do a great job for my client so that they want to invite me back, or they tell their friends. So Wade the plumber is the guy to call. So that's the way to start looking at it. And it took me a while, because I entered the business really fast. And when I started doing my first audition for film, I got it. It was the lead in the film. Next thing I know, I walk in a Blockbuster and my face is all over the new things. I'm the shit. I think I'm the shit. My attitude was so bad that it kept me out of anything else for years, as opposed to just not understanding, like having a mentor to say, listen, yeah, kid, you're good, but there's a lot of good kids out there. There's a lot of people that could act their ass off. You've got to be of service to the producer, of service to the project, and you've got to think business. You know, another thing I would tell young people, one thing got told to me that I couldn't stand is that got to have a backup plan.
Yeah.
That says to me, when someone said that to me, that says
that you don't have faith in yourself.
You don't have faith in me.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing though. If they would have just shifted the wording differently, you have to have a lateral plan. You got to have something you love to do that's going to pay the bills so you can continue to work on this passion and turn this passion into a business. It's not one or the other. To me, it's not. It literally is. And I'm quite frankly, I do other businesses besides acting. There's other things I'm involved in, and I want to be involved in other things. I want to be involved in other businesses because I love it so much. But I would tell a young actor, don't be afraid to work your ass off making the money you need to make for your family. And don't be afraid to come home, not turn on the television, not care about, and go home and start working, start, running your monologues, go to acting class, audition all night long, whatever you have to do. And this will fall into probably your next question, April, is how do I do this all? Is I break things down.
I was going to add in that when I went to Killer Kowalski's and I was training, I was also going to New England School of Photography on the side and learning how to do everything photo and Photoshop. And that has come into the business aspect of what I do as well. So that's my lateral. So I agree with you.
Yeah. And,
yes. And how do you do all you do? Sorry,
distracted me with your beautifulness. Yes.
Yes. People are sending bits. Thank you.
Wait a second. You talking to her?
Yes.
He's talking to you, Ray. He's talking to you, Ray.
Whatever.
You were talking about how do you do all this, and you balance a litter of children as well, right? So a lot of people think
I'm a single dad.
You can't. A lot of people think you can't do that. That you can't have a family or children, and you can't. You can have a career, or you can have a family. You can't do both, but you've obviously done both.
Right. Well, it goes back to my first thing I said a few minutes ago. Don't listen to anything anybody tells you, and don't believe the hype, and don't fall into the matrix, because whatever they tell you. Here's the thing. Now you get me hyped. Now I'm awake. They distract you. They literally distract you with football games, TV, booze, whatever. Like if it's not attached to your heart or to your purpose, get rid of it. And what I mean by that is don't work all day. If you got to go to work, which we all do, listen, guys, if I'm talking to any actors out there, I've literally, for the last 2 years, I'm 53 years old. It was when I was 52 that I started becoming a professional. This is the first year at 53 years old. This I'm going to inspire you, hopefully. At 53 years old, I have become a professional entertainer. I've made 7 films this year. I've done a musical in New York, and the year's not over yet. But what I do is this. If I have to work, if you have to go to a day job, when you come home, you've got another 8 hours before you need to go to sleep. Don't waste 8 hours effing around. Take 8 hours and study your craft.
Unless they're watching your show, right?
Right.
Unless they're watching anything from Wade Hunt Williams or the A Show with April Hunter. Those guys, you should definitely watch those. But anything else,
you're learning with that stuff.
So that's how you do it. There's 24 hours in a day, and you got to set your priorities. My love life is a priority. My children are a priority. My faith is a priority. And those just balance. It's not necessarily in that order, but they're priorities.
Your health is a priority. Obviously, you have biceps.
Well, thank you for noticing, April. But and that's the thing you do. I wake up, I get the kids on the bus, 6:30 in the morning. I see, Ray, get the kids on the bus, go to the gym. I'm back home by 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, that's way too early. Oh my God. So,
I got a question. But you could ask Alex,
Sure.
and I want a question. You said Alex has a question.
Oh, he was asking if you guys are Power Rangers fans, and if you guys are Power Rangers fans, and if so, what are your kids' favorite series and episodes? And I was thinking about because I met Wade in person, and when I met him, I was thinking, oh, this dude would be great. When he told me about the story, he would be great to have on the show, but then I didn't want to ask because I felt like, doing the asking thing. So when you asked to be on the show, I was like, yeah, because you have such great stories. But there was a story you told me about the guy in Utah you worked with, that your kids love him, Brian.
Oh, well, right.
So you worked with another actor who your kids love and wanted.
Yes.
Because they watch him. So
yeah, they watched him on Darman on YouTube, which is a huge morality type little morality plays on YouTube. Huge thing. And there's this one episode, and they love this episode, and I got to work with one of the guys in the episode. So my daughter, who could care less if she sees me on TV, is all excited because I'm working with the guy from Darman. So that was cute. That was very cool.
All right, so here's my question.
Oh, I forgot. April, when did we meet in person? When was that?
Last summer.
Was that one of those? All right, very good. I vaguely remember. All right, what, Ray?
So my question to you is now, I have a ton of respect for actors. I really do. And the reason is professional wrestlers, actors, they're kind of like, it's almost like the same, not the same thing, but they cut from the same cloth, and I'll explain to you why. There's a ton of rejection in these businesses, a ton of rejection. And not only is there a ton of rejection, there's a ton of competition in these businesses. And I'm going to use the wrestling analogy real quick. A lot of professional wrestlers, you have to work your way and wrestle in these little school gyms and in front of 20 people before you can, maybe get perhaps noticed in a tryout with, let's say, WWE or something like that. And then finally you get your big break. And even then, once you get there, you maybe work a year and then you don't, as the business say, get over or become popular. And then you lose your job and you have to work your way back up all over again. So the reason why I admire actors so much, and I admire wrestlers so much, and actors and wrestlers, is because, I think you have to have really thick skin. But along with that, I'm sure there's a building process to building that thick skin. I don't believe everybody is born with that. Do you feel that you were born with the ability to kind of deal with rejection and build yourself off of rejection? Or
not at all.
Is this something
not
you have
at all.
to learn how to deal with? And what would you tell somebody right now? Now, this is not just acting and wrestling. This is also in life, like your job. How do you deal with rejection and build off of that and just become better?
Again, I think one of the best things I ever did. It's two answers. When I worked in financial services, when I got all those licenses I was telling you about, I was still an entrepreneur. I was still self-employed. I was commission only. I loved it because it was selling life insurance. And when I died, I realized one of the things I was thinking when I was dying was that I don't have life insurance. So my wife at the time and my kids weren't going to get anything. And I was like, there's a whole nother conversation. If we have the time, I'll go into it. It's a long one.
We will have the time because I have questions about you dying.
So I went into financial services and started very, very happy to sell life insurance. I was still acting, still making music, but I thought this was something that was very necessary. I didn't know that people didn't know how important this is. So the business aspect of talking to people, trying to sell them something, well, granted that everyone needs it, but that really changed my perspective. So auditioning literally is a numbers game. Where I used to audition thinking, oh, I did great, this is fantastic, they're going to call me. I don't care anymore. I audition, I do the best job I can, I give it to them, and I forget about it. As a matter of fact, every single movie that I've gotten this year, and when they've called me and said, I want to offer you the role, I don't remember auditioning for it. Have no clue. So you hit it and you forget it. That's the rule.
No attachment, right? No attachment.
No attachment. And it's a numbers game. You just do so much. And another thing I learned when I produced my first film, the first film I ever produced was called A Prayer. And it won Best Picture at Manhattan Film Festival a few years back. I can't remember what year. But that won Best Short. and it was my first time producing. It changed the way I act, because as a producer now, you start to see, oh crap, this is a business, and this actor that I want.
I can't believe he froze again.
Oh, what the shit? You frozen.
That sucks.
I know.
That sucks. And look at his
I'll
face.
agree with the thick skin thing, though. You have to. It's easy to get hurt, and you have to understand that you are a product. It's not you personally. If people are critiquing or hiring, it's
I'm gonna kick him from the studio.
Colin says Wade treats auditions like Ray treats the glory hole.
Shut
Hey,
up,
and
you
before
jerk off.
before I forget, I just want to mention that we're having a special Halloween episode next week with Shelly Martinez.
We
will
are?
all be in cosplay.
I
Yes,
am?
Ray. Well, yeah, you
Shit.
don't have to be. We will be, but we were welcoming Shelly back on because who does Halloween better than Shelly?
Oh shit! You know what? I have to text them, tell them I had to knock them out of the studio.
Yeah.
And so shit. Okay, now I got to figure out what the hell I'll patch something together. I think I have an idea of what I can be.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll find it to be quite humorous.
Okay.
I have a couple of ideas. What's going on, Fred?
Yeah, Fred, what's up? You guys are here. I see who else did I see come in late? I see Chowny Man. I saw you guys talking about what's going on with karma and people talking shit. You got to be careful what you say out there, you know.
So April,
and
can
somebody's asking if I got their gift, Red Sunny. Which you have to remind me what was it? Was that I think I wrote to you. I think I wrote to you and let
April,
you know.
April, stop avoiding this conversation. Stop avoiding.
And what should I dress up as? I don't know. Let me know. What conversation?
Elvira. So I gotta tell you something.
Tell me something.
And I'm telling you, I'm very straightforward with you, right?
Okay.
I'm very honest. I'm a very honest person, and I don't give a fuck. I fucking like this guy a lot. I really do.
Yeah, he's a likable one. When I heard his story, and he's done so many movies.
It's not a situation where how can I put this? You know how some people, I like him. He's a nice guy. There's something about the guy that I feel like I can have a beer with him. And just
drink a shot.
He just seems so genuine, and he's you guys are close, right?
I know him. Yeah.
So I got to tell you something. That's somebody that
he was going. That's because of the God angle. You guys are like God twins there.
It's not even about the God angle. What I love about him, like I said, is the fact that he does remind me a lot of my father. It's fucking crazy.
That's why. And Colin says, take the day off. You don't deserve Shelly.
Oh, Colin, you could suck my balls. How's that? I'm not gonna shave. I won't shave for 2 weeks.
This is an ongoing thing, you guys. Every time we've had Shelly on, Ray has had to take the day off, and Colin has hosted wonderfully for us.
You know what's gonna be fucked up? I have a feeling that something's gonna happen that I'm
better not. So Ray keeps going, get Shelly back. I need to be here. I've got to meet her.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Steve, what's up, Steve? Hi.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm not a creeper. You know that. I love my wife.
Mm-hmm.
But I always found Shelly to be incredibly hot, dude. Not like in a creepy way. Is that bad?
No, you're not wrong. She's incredibly
fucking
hot.
beautiful.
She comes on the thing, and like her tits are just like they're like.
Well,
they make mine look. I haven't even hit puberty yet.
It's not the tits thing. It's the eyes.
Yeah.
The shape of the eyes.
She does have that thing going on.
Yeah, so that's the thing that gets me. But also, I always thought there was so much to her character that when she was wrestling, especially on WWE.
Mm-hmm.
That they could have gone a hell of a lot further with her.
They definitely could have used her.
With
There's so many people they didn't use well.
Yo, what happened to Wade, bro? He ain't coming back.
I don't know.
I want to talk to him about his death. That's like the main. That's like the main event for me.
Well, we'll get him back on, but in the meantime, I'm going to tell you something else I found out.
I think I found something. I had something too, like in case this happened. Yeah, go ahead. You first.
Okay. Okay. So they've done some studies based on. There have been a lot of car accidents. In the last couple of years, the car accidents, not just in Florida, but everywhere, the accident rate has gone way, way, way up everywhere. Great. That's why all of our insurance is going up in most places. So
wonderful.
Some places have started to do some independent research based on that. And they've done some cognitive studies, and the studies have been interesting. they have found out that the spike protein has affected our ability to react cognitively. We're not able to change lanes quickly. We're not able to have the same cognitive response. And neither are other people that we used to have behind the wheel. So I spoke with Dr. Sean Mullen, who's a neurologist, and let me check real quick. And he had some interesting advice. Okay, did you have the same link to join back in?
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, you just use the same link to join back in. So you were saying cognitive.
He says he'll be back. I guess he needs to take a break and check on everybody.
That's fine.
So yeah, cognitively we're not the same. And if you know the spike protein, it comes from both COVID and the shots. So the more you have COVID, the more you have the shots, the less cognitively sharp you can be. So I asked, I said, what can you do to improve your cognitive responses? And like everybody, you can always repair things. Everybody's got biceps. Not everybody has biceps.
Right.
So
I'm getting mine back, by the way. I'm just letting you know that.
Okay. Huh?
They're coming along. My biceps are coming along.
Good.
Again.
See, when you work on something, it comes along, it builds up. Yeah. So here's the thing. He said, learn new things. So he suggested things with movement, things that require certain types of thinking. So he gave me a list: martial arts, spinning, poi, P-O-I. Am I saying that right? Languages, gardening, yoga, and anything that's sustained mind-body coordination and balance. Using the sauna, using warm water bathing, meditation, which seems to be a thing across the board with meditation, transcranial direct current stimulation. I don't know what that is.
Oh, that sounds hot though.
But it's called TDCS, I think. Brain games, any kind of, brain games or Sudoku or any, trivia. Yeah, and Cool Awesome Dude says everyone has abs and pecs too. You're right, but they don't all have abs and pecs.
Brother.
Take supplements designed to reduce inflammation and or enhance memory and vision, because that helps too. And also music, dancing, juggling, and improv acting. All of these things can help build your cognitive abilities back up. So Red Sunny says have played Scrabble. I think Scrabble would definitely, board games, things that make you do something different. Learning sign language, learning any language. I'm just a big fan of sign language. I want people to be able to talk to me.
I'm telling you, the yoga that I've been doing has really
yeah.
All right, so hold on one second.
And yes, I've heard about I know Suzanne Summers passed away, and that's really, really a shame.
Yeah, Suzanne. So hey, before Wade jumps on, can I just show this really quickly?
Yes.
Now Wade is here.
You're back.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay, buddy.
Sorry, guys.
I just want to show you something feel good. You want to see something real feel good real quick?
I do, yeah.
It's 20 seconds long. So this dude lost his dog 3 years ago. Do you want to see him just randomly find his dog in the street?
Sure.
Man finds his dog on the street after 3 years.
It just happened to be videotaping it?
62-year-old Georgie had spent years looking for his dog. He finds him. Now watch this dog. Look at his tail.
Oh
my God. You freaking, we're being quiet here, but this dog went absolutely crazy. That's the sound of Colin in the glory hole, by the way.
Aw. Why are you cutting onions and stuff while we're watching this? Hold on.
I don't want to show.
No, I don't want to watch that.
Jesus Christ.
These people are
my Lord and Savior.
Yes. Watch that.
But
so
how adorable is that?
That's super cute. I love that. Now, if it had been a cat, it would have walked right by him.
Oh, cat. You know why? Because cats have no soul.
Yeah, they got a soul.
They don't have a soul.
So okay, let's go before we you freeze up or we lose you again. We only have 20 minutes, so
And he's frozen.
Don't say that.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Just going based off of history. So you had a situation where you technically died.
So many
Can you
questions.
tell us about that and
So many questions.
what happened and how that? Tell us about all of it.
And wait,
Well,
just so you know,
yes,
wait
sir.
before you even talk, I may interrupt you several times
Okay.
because I have so many questions about this this scenario here.
And this is called a near-death experience, right?
Well, yeah. Well, it wasn't near. I mean, yeah, it's called a near-death experience, but it really was a death experience. So, in all honesty, I was on set the other day. I was trying to explain this to a couple people, and I said I'll try to give you the elevator version. Because what happens is when you're, and it's impossible.
No, wait, no, go from the beginning. What happened?
Okay. I had a cerebral aneurysm that I didn't know. It was like when they call the silent widowmaker. And it popped one day while I was on stage. And
The signs beforehand, I'm just sorry.
No.
Nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
Just nothing. And so I didn't know what it was, but I knew that there's more to it. Like I collapsed in the parking lot when I was loading up my equipment. I went back in, and I was just like, that's the weirdest thing. I must be really, really tired. I was like, I just collapsed. I didn't have control of my legs or my hands. I was just collapsed. I was like, wow, I must be really tired. So I went back into the venue to say goodbye to the promoters and everyone else. And I had this horrible headache, just huge headache. And then I fell to the floor. And my heart stopped, my lungs stopped, I stopped breathing, I stopped, I was dead, all intents and purposes. So an aneurysm had ruptured, and it had stopped, the blood filled my brain, and it stopped my heart and stopped my lungs. And so I died. Now, I'll give you, I'm looking at the clock, I've got 13 minutes to try to explain to you. I'm only going to give you the facts.
Take your time. Take your time.
Okay. Now, I knew I was dead. I knew that I was not in my body anymore. So this is the things that I need to tell people. Number one, the thoughts and the people that I gotta look this crazy look. Look at that serum.
You're fine.
Oh my God!
Yeah, this is what happens to me every week.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my God, what's up with this?
So I knew I was dead. The last thing I was like, I knew something was wrong. I knew I couldn't move, and I knew that I wasn't freaked out about it though. I wasn't freaked. I was just like, oh, okay, this is how I die. And I remember people screaming. I heard people screaming.
Were you a believer? Were you a believer
on my wrist?
I'm sorry. Were you a believer at the time?
Yes.
So you had your faith.
Yes.
You knew Lord Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior.
I wasn't afraid.
You weren't afraid. Okay.
At all.
All right. There's a reason why I'm asking.
I wasn't afraid.
Please continue.
So then I hear people screaming, is there a doctor? Oh, and I tell you the story. There were emergency nurses there that night, and they weren't supposed to be there. They weren't even supposed to be in the state. That's a whole nother story.
That's crazy.
God's providence was so powerful.
That's so cool.
What is that? What is that, April? What is that?
It was a story we told while you were gone about the two nurses that were trying to change their flight, and they couldn't change their flight, and they ended up breathing for this guy 15 minutes on this flight and doing
That's
his heart.
exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
These people, these nurses were there. They weren't even supposed to be there. Okay. I'll tell you real quick. Their husbands got tickets to a fishing tournament in Sanford, is what I was playing, and they're like, "We didn't ask for these. We didn't even like try to get these." And the husbands were like, "Well, we got a fishing tournament. We love to fish. Let's go." So they came down. They checked out all the hotels in the area. There was no hotel available. The only hotel available was the hotel right next to my venue. And when they came in, they wanted to watch a Kansas City game, and there wasn't playing, so they were going to turn around and leave. And the manager, out of nowhere, never does this. Like, "Hey, ladies, don't leave. What do you want to watch?" He turns off whatever everyone else is watching so these ladies could watch the Kansas City game. Turns out those are the emergency nurses that saved my life.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
So I hear people screaming. So now we're back to me being on the floor. I'm dead. And then all of a sudden I feel the first compression on my chest.
And you feel this?
I feel the compression. I know it's weird. There's a feeling. It's not a feeling. I don't feel it as much as I know it. That's the thing I can't explain. I know it, but I don't feel it. I'm not in pain anymore. I just know it. And as soon as the compression happened, I was out of my body. And I was in this beautiful, dark, soupy, velvety, comforty, arms of the Father kind of feeling. Just totally cool. Now, this is where I want to really explain to people. I knew I was at the time.
Damn it.
And my children that are here with me right now, or the same children, I knew that I was going to miss my children. Oh, no, hold on. I was thinking about my children. I knew that they were going to be without their dad. I knew my wife at the time was going to be without their husband. The knowledge did not translate into human emotion. There was emotion. There was a knowing. There was a feeling. There was a I hope they'll be okay. I know they'll be okay because eventually they'll be here with me. So all of the thoughts that we normally have in the flesh suit and in this matrix that would cause anxiety, I still had those thoughts, but they didn't translate into emotion or fear. What it did, but here's what I realized. I wasn't in my body anymore. I still love the same people that I loved before.
Could you see anything?
No.
Okay.
Wasn't there. I knew that I was not where I was supposed to be yet. I just knew that this was kind of like a waiting room, like, hey, we gotta wait this. And here's another thing. I was dead for 5 minutes, but it felt like 5 hours. It could have been 5 years. There's no element of time. There was just this perfect understanding of if this is all death is, awesome. If this is all it is, if there's no Valhalla, if there's no heaven, if there's no angels and Jesus, this is cool. I could live in here for eternity. But what it really hit me is, I am you, whoever's watching, you are you, okay? But you're not the things that you think you are just on this planet. What you are on this planet is very important, okay? Now, so people ask me, what did you learn? Well, I'm still learning from this experience. I still dive into my word, and I still dive into my experience. Now, here's the thing that I press to people. If you're going to stop me in an elevator and say, what did you learn in the 5 minutes you were dead? This is it. You are not your color. You're not, I wasn't, okay, I'm not going to put it on you. I'm going to say me.
Okay.
I wasn't white. I wasn't black. I wasn't brown. I wasn't male. I wasn't female. I wasn't gay. I wasn't straight. I wasn't Republican. I wasn't Democrat. I wasn't a country music lover. I wasn't an opera music lover. But I was still me. So all of those other things are just things that labels, masks that we wear. Now, there's nothing wrong with it, because it's how we get through our society here on this dimension. But ultimately, you have to realize they're just things. Now, you will take with you, when you go, and we all will, we will take with us the things we care about. That will be there, be here, or be out there, literally. But all of the things that we worry about today, they're not there. So why worry anyway? Now, I am very much guilty of being human. I still worry. I still have anxiety. Am I good enough? Is anyone going to love me? Like, that's, shut up, Right. I'm human. But when I stop and I'm able to talk and just remember that all this shit doesn't really matter in the long run. It doesn't matter. Now, that's the elevator pitch. That's the elevator. So the things I've learned, if I got a few more minutes left, is that when I was in that room, when I was in that space, that milky blackness of just perfectness.
Would you say peace?
Peace. Perfect peace. When I was in there, it was the very first time in my entire existence that I was completely alone. And what I mean by that is I recognized that I was now completely separated from the collective. I was complete, which means that we are all connected. And this goes right down to the metaphysics, goes right back into the Bible. We are all the body of Christ. We are all connected. We are this interconnected mass of internet. We are the internet.
No, intranet.
Intranet. There we go.
Intranet.
Perfect.
That's different.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I recognize that is like, and this is where it's so important, where if we, as a humanity, black, white, brown, gay, straight, what Democrat, if that's what they do not want us coming together, they do not want us getting along. As long as that vibration can stir up, and we will stay separated. But the minute we connect, I guarantee you, portals will open, the sky will crack, and we will be able to see and feel things and care about things that we have not been taught on this level of existence. So coming back, waking up, and then I was in a coma for 6 weeks. I've had 2 brain operations. They went in, they fixed the first aneurysm. They discovered a second one. There's another one up there that, you know, we've got to keep an eye on. When I'm back, there's a tendency to go, well, what does it matter? What does this matter? Why are we here anyway? Like, why am I here? I was almost mad that you brought me back. You know what I mean? But
you hear that a lot, by the way, from people that have passed or come back.
But here's the thing: is because I believe in the Creator's ultimate authority and ultimate plan. I believe that I serve a purpose. As soon as that purpose is over, I'm sure He'll take me, and I'm okay with that. But being back and making movies and making music and raising kids and paying rent and mortgages and insurance and voting and being upset, like, there's a human aspect of it. Like, you have to, like we talked at the beginning of the show, you have to work. When God told Abraham to get up and walk, He didn't say, hey, God could have taken him and flown him there. But Abraham had to walk. There has to be some movement here, and it's painful and everything else. But that pain perfects us. So all that to say, it's very weird. It was very weird being back. But to give you the specifics of it, as I was writing it down into a play, I was in a coma for 6 weeks. When I got it from the coma, they said that I was going to need lots of therapy, and I couldn't swallow, I couldn't talk, I couldn't breathe on my own. At first, oh my God, check this. There was this. I had tubes down and I wasn't breathing, and they were about to give me a tracheotomy. That would have ruined my ability to sing forever. At the last minute, a nurse comes in and just says, and behind the doctor's back, pulls the cord right out of me, and I started breathing on my own. It's crazy. Did I freeze?
No, you're okay now.
You did, but we heard that you said that she pulled the cord out and you started breathing on your own.
I started breathing on my own. So then they said, you need months of therapy. I had to learn to walk and talk again. 3 days. 3 days. I said, I want to go home. And they said, no, sir, you're going to have to go to the therapy. We have to go to this other institution. And I said, no, I want to go home. And the doctor didn't think I could do it. The doctor, it wasn't just me, you know that. The doctor was like, if you can get up out of that wheelchair, if you get out of that bed, come to this wheelchair, it was like 5 feet away, I'll consider letting you go home. Sure enough, man, it took everything. It took everything. I'd been laying down for 6 weeks. I was like that big around.
Yeah, Bambi legs.
I had Bambi legs. So I got to that wheelchair and I looked at that doctor and I said, I'm going home. And he's like, all right, let's give it a shot. So if you can swallow within 3 days, we'll do the next step. So anyway, long story short, within 3 days, I told him I swallowed. I was able to walk to the wheelchair on my own. I was like, let's go. We're out of here. They let me go home. So within 3 days, waking up from brain surgery and being in a coma, I was home. And then I learned to walk and talk again on my own at home. So that's my story.
That's awesome.
Bro, there's so many more questions.
No, I know.
It's just
there's a lot, man.
Like my thought process is I wonder what the experiences are for different people with different faiths, or people that don't have faith.
Probably the same, no matter what.
Okay, this is where it gets into the metaphysical. And again, I'll give you a brief thing. The more I learn and the more I talk to people on the metaphysical understanding, there are different levels. There's our level, there's the sub level where the dark forces reside, and there's other levels above that, and then there's heaven. Mm-hmm. So when someone that doesn't, and when you die, there's going to be a lot of things pulling you, right? I believe that I wasn't pulled anywhere because I had a faith. I was right. This is where our power comes in. Our power says, I'm okay. I'm okay. And I believe that I was okay because of my belief. So, but people that don't believe like I do, it doesn't mean that they're going to go to hell. It just means that maybe they're going to go back again. Maybe their energy is going to continue to do that. I don't know if that's necessarily a Christian way of thinking, but maybe their energy does do that. But me personally, I don't want to go around and around. I just want to go straight to the source. You know what I mean? And I do that through the conduit, which is Christ, the Christ being the truth. So that's all I got, man. That's what I got. To answer your question, I believe that we're all children of God. It doesn't matter your faith. It just matters. It does matter your faith. But I'm saying you're not any less loved or any less wanted by God because you believe something different. But it is your belief. It's like the Indians, when the Indians first saw the ships come into port. There's a story that the Indians couldn't see the ships in the harbor. They couldn't see that because they'd never seen ships before. It was one shaman that saw ripples in the water that eventually he looked long enough and was able to open his mind up that he saw a ship. When he saw the one ship, he was able to see all the ships. Now, the question is, did the ships miraculously appear? No, they were there the whole time. But his perception then allowed him to see reality. My perception, I know I just froze there for a second. My perception is going to change my reality. And that's true for all of us. So if you don't believe in God, if you don't believe in Christ, and you don't believe in a heaven or hell, he's gonna honor that. He's gonna let you be in some other dimension or some other energy. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person or any of that stuff. So I could just keep talking until you ask me another question, but that's where I'm at right now. So all that to say, we're all loved. We're all loved, and we're all one. We literally are, and that's the thing that bothers me so much, is that if we could just connect, there would be an explosion of energy. There would be an awakening. There would be an understanding that would blow everything else out of the water. It would be creation all over again if we could just come together and leave all this other shit behind. You notice as soon as we start getting together, more wars. Inflation. Boom, boom, boom.
That is what has been bothering me this past week so badly, is that we were having a very good awakening. People were, whether they liked each other or not, they were still uniting to the fact that things were not on the up and up. They were waking up to the bullshit, and they were aware. And then now you have these same people right back to where they were before, fighting over which babies should be dying and deserve to die. They're separated again. And it's like, how could you be so stupid? How could you be so dumb to allow it to happen?
But they're less now. They're less. Like I watched the show last week. They're less. You know what I mean? Everyone's not rah, rah, rah right now. Like 9/11, I was rah, rah, rah. I was ready to go fight. But I am a true red-blooded American. I love my country, and I'm telling you something's fishy. And I'm not going to go be rah, rah, rah. I'm not going to want any of our men and women to go die.
I can't even stand being on Twitter right now. It's so everything's
it's extremely toxic.
Yeah, it's worse than it's like literally the anger virus is being passed around. It's so gross.
Yeah. So I try to stay off of that stuff. I try to tell people about my films. By the way, let's remind everybody that Time for Every Purpose is out on Apple TV, Amazon Prime. And
where can people find you? And you're also you're starting to give classes now, because you trained with Ken Eulo, who worked with Pacino?
Deniro, Pacino, Hoffman. Yeah.
Okay. and he doesn't take on very many.
Yeah, he's little Yoda, man. Yeah, he doesn't take a lot. He only takes what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, like he doesn't just take anybody. He's gotta, what's the word? I can't think of the word. I'm sorry.
Referral.
Padawans. Oh,
yeah. So, I'm going to start giving lessons here in Tampa, in-person lessons. And then I'm starting a course. I'm going to do an online course. Hopefully it'll be out by February or March. So it's called the eye level approach. And Ken I'm the only other person that Ken's given the rights to teach this approach, but it's good enough for Deniro. It's good enough for Hoffman. It's good enough for Pacino. It's good enough for Williams, so it's
nice rub there. You did good there.
Thank you very much.
Someone Notary 7 is saying a must-see film. It was phenomenal. Yeah, it has been out for 2 nights now, so people have had a chance to see it. So we have a good review here already. So you're Time for Every Purpose.
I'm sorry, I missed that. I froze again.
Notary 7 said A Time for Every Purpose is a must-see film. It's phenomenal.
So,
that's awesome.
Can you briefly just talk about some of the? I know you don't have much time, but can you talk about some of the stuff that you were in or going to be doing soon that we're going to be able to see? Are you going to be doing any holiday stuff so I can tell my mom?
Meth Gator.
Mommy, that guy, he was on my show and he's playing Santa Claus. Like,
no, I'm not. No Santa Claus stuff yet. But like I said, A Time for a Purpose just came out. It's a really good film. It's good. As far as like a faith-based film, it's the best one I've ever done, I think. Except for The Investigator. I think The Investigator is pretty good. God, Where Are You is pretty good too, because whatever. Anyway, what am I? The Attack of the Meth Gator, which is Asylum Pictures, they do Sharknado. I've done a couple pictures for them. It's fun. It's just fun and it's silly. They can, so my Instagram is there. There's also, you can just find me on Facebook. I actually do Facebook more than Instagram. Definitely Facebook, just Wade Hunt Williams. This movie I just finished yesterday is called Greek Mothers Never Die. It's my first romantic comedy. It's hilarious. I don't know when it's going to come out. Probably within the next couple of years. Who knows?
Wait, so you had to have a Greek accent, right?
I did have to have the Greek accent. So I worked on the Greek accent for many months. And then I had to do this for about 3 weeks up there in the, what do you call it, Amelia Island of Amelia. And so that was very fun. And so I do like being a character actor. I like creating things that didn't exist until I brought them to life. So that was a very fun movie. What did I do in New York? I did QAnon the musical. That's a series. It's a documentary that's going to be coming out. I don't know when.
QAnon the musical.
QAnon the musical.
Will you say QAnon the musical?
QAnon the musical.
That's amazing.
It's great. If you don't believe any of the conspiracy theories, you're gonna love it. If you believe every single one of the conspiracy theories, you're gonna love it. It's hilarious. It's just hilarious. No matter what you believe, it's hilarious. I'm excited about it.
Can you do some accents?
I was going to ask him to do the same thing, but before that.
You have a
now you're putting me on the spot, and when you put me on the spot, I get very angry, and I want to I will start to burn people if you put me on the spot like this. So no, 9, I will not. No.
German. Can you do Australian? Because I have Australian.
I don't do Australia very well. I don't. My daughter does Australia. I do Scottish a little bit. Scottish is one of those things that I kind of fall right into, and to do that, yes, that's not a problem. Now, I went to Scotland. I love Scotland, and then one of my favorite ones is just to fall right into is the Irish accent. So I do the Irish accent. The thing about for young actors is what you want to do is you want to go around your own house and just talk to yourself, create different characters. So when someone comes to me and says, "Hey, listen, can you do this?" I go, "Of course I can. I don't even have to learn it." But the Greek accent is one I had to learn because it was Greek accent is like
just come here
Italian and Turkish.
Yeah.
Well, I got Tarpon Springs next to me, so it was kind of easy. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
dude.
join me
and the Time for Every Purpose.
4:30.
Yeah.
Yeah. Join me in mates at 4:30.
Join me in the
have a couple of
mates at the pub. Yeah.
What is going on here?
4:30.
I just like to say 4:30. Say
4:30.
Say 4:30 again.
4:30.
4:30.
4:30. Dublin.
Dublin.
What's the criteria?
Dublin. I like it. I love it.
I
love it.
I can't do accents. I do make fun of my friend.
And then I do also do the New York accent. Don't worry. I don't worry. Ray, I'm not leaving you behind. All right. I'm not leaving you behind. All right. So don't you and me, we got some things to talk about. You know what I'm saying? You call me up, we talk a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Can you do a Boston accent? You know, you talking about jumping in the car, you know, going to the ballpark.
I
go to the park and get a little bit of dog there. Yeah. The khakis. The Boston accent is very, very close. Yeah, I mean, it's like the Boston. Yeah, it's one of those things where, for me, there's as a character actor, there's a few things that I click into, and once I click into it, I can stay there. So the Boston and New York are kind of close.
He's wicked smart.
He's
don't be smart.
You know what it is? I used to date a girl from Salem, New Hampshire.
I mean, don't be a smart guy.
I'm sorry.
And we used to go see the Red Sox.
Oh yeah. Do it like that.
Yo, that's so funny. Did I tell you that story?
It's so big.
No, it wasn't. But listen, all jokes aside, man. I was dating this girl. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Wait, I was dating this girl from Salem, New Hampshire, right? And she had been. I was going to school, and she was in NYU. So we started dating, and the first time we hooked up, right? Like her
made passionate baby Jesus love. I understand.
Her Boston came out, and she's like, she's like, you're wicked hot. I'm like, what? The fuck did you just say to me? Just like that.
You're wicked hot.
Hotter.
Yeah. Put it right there, baby. Yeah. Hotter. You're wicked. That's it. Oh yeah, pound me like that. Pound me like a ham there, buddy. Yeah. You're wicked there.
I swear to God.
My God.
I stopped.
I was like, I bet you worked very hard after that.
No. I was like, what? I actually said, what did you say?
Oh God, what the fuck?
And she had lost a little bit of the accent. It was awesome, dude.
Oh wow.
Oh Jesus, man. Things are funny. Life is funny.
We have to. I got to get going because I have 3 more podcasts after this.
You freaking Dorsa.
No, I'm happy. I'm great. I'm grateful to have so much work today. Yay. It's just a long day. But
thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. April, Wade. Thank you.
Well, Wade Hunt Williams, look him up, guys. We didn't even talk about his music, but
we're gonna do that.
You have to look up his music. I love the Phantom of the Opera thing that he did. But if you like country music,
of the opera.
Yeah, Ray sings too. You guys could do a thing.
It's wicked hard. It's gonna be wicked hard.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be wicked.
That would be wicked smart. Wicked smart.
It'd be wicked hot. Yeah.
It's so hot, Ray.
It's Ray. Yeah, I like when you hit those notes there, Ray. That's so good. Yeah.
No, but
geez.
So check out Wade Hunt Williams' music.
Just Google me, Wade Hunt Williams, and you'll see the movies. Oh, hello, hi. Wait,
hi. What are those?
No, don't stop. Say it. Do it.
Red Sunny.
Say it.
We're out of here, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thanks, you guys. Have a good one. We will see you again Wednesday night. Please share the show. Put it out there. Remember, we got Shelly Martinez coming from Halloween.
Oh, I'm gonna be wicked hot.
Wicked hot.
Wicked hot.
So Halloween, or right before Halloween, she's coming in. She's coming in hot, guys. Coming in hot.
She's coming in wicked hot. And ladies and gentlemen, on that note, oh damn it, I didn't have it hooked up. Big ass titties. I'll do it myself.
There you go.
We'll see you, ladies and gentlemen, next week. Here.
1, 2, 3. Big ass
titties.
Woo!
Good night, guys. Love you all.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Big ass titties.
Got it.
What knockers?
Boobies. And the one she hates.
And she showed me her boobies, and I like them too.
That Bobby Boucher. Goodbye, guys.